Well, welcome to my program once again. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to have you out there in the audience. I've got someone as my guest who is probably right at this point in Fall River, pretty popular. It started off, well, he's going to tell a story, but I guess this goes back a year or so now. And basically what happened was that he overheard a police officer who was on duty, some sort of street work assignment, talking into a cell phone very loudly and using a lot of profanity, I understand. And my guest was filming and audio recording. And the thing got somewhat out of hand, and he's going to tell us what happened. So, George Thompson, how you doing?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome to be on the program. I've been asking you for a number of times, and finally here you are.
Yeah, you know, we both got our different shows, and
yeah, you. Let me get a little background. Are you? You're a veteran, aren't you?
no, I'm not. I tried getting in the service, but I was brought up in foster care.
Okay. Did you have anything to do with the VFW?
I work with the VFW. I've got a lot of friends who are veterans. I tried to get into the service. Just because I couldn't, I'm fighting a fight, and the same. It's kind of brought myself and a lot of the veterans together, because my fight, I'm fighting for rights.
Okay, but you have any affiliation with the VFW in Fall River?
Yeah, VFW 486 post.
Okay, you do some work for them.
We just reopened a kitchen down there. I've got experience.
Are you?
I'm a chef. And I am working with the men's auxiliary.
Okay, yeah. I was down there last Friday.
Did you eat?
I didn't stay.
You did?
No, if the VFW, they don't have a kitchen, do they?
Absolutely. Fantastic, brother.
They have a kitchen there.
You know it. All the way in the back. All the way in the back hall, in the back room.
And it's open?
Yes.
So it was open last Friday night?
Absolutely.
All right.
You missed some of the best fish and chips, fried scallops.
And what time does the kitchen stay open till?
Kitchen was Friday and Saturday, 4 to 10. This Saturday, we're open until midnight because we've got a big line dancing going on down there.
And what about Friday night?
Friday night is 4 to 10.
You might see me Friday night.
And Sunday, if you want to come play bingo, and the kitchen's open 4 to 8 on Sunday.
I'm not too much for bingo. But I was there Friday night.
Yep.
The only problem is when I went into the lounge, they smoke.
Now,
and
Friday night, you can also eat in the back. The back room is open.
Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind this Friday night.
We're in the process. We just had a meeting this afternoon, and
so where is the kitchen? Is it in the lounge?
all the way in the back.
In the lounge or the hall?
In the hall.
All right.
Off the back of the hall.
And that's non-smoking back there?
Non-smoking back there.
All right.
We are the members' room. When you first walk in, over on the right-hand side,
yeah.
That is in the process of being made into a dining room.
Well, that would be great.
As we speak, that's going to be non-smoking. Some people still don't mind. You know, they want to go sit and talk and have a cigarette. You've got the non-smoking. You have the smoking.
Yeah. And you got in the lounge area, you have a pool table.
Yes.
Now, do you have a pool table in the hall?
No.
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 Okay. I'm a pool fan, so.
Right.
But in the lounge that allows smoking, it's too much for me.
Right.
So, anyway, when did this episode take place in regards to your
January 6th
of
last year.
Okay, 1/6/14.
Yep.
And give us a little background of.
About 9:30, 10 o'clock. Every day I'd go sit out on my front porch. Didn't matter if it was summertime or if it was
1/6. That's January.
The sun beat down on it, and I'm like the crazy cat lady, you know. I'd go outside, have my morning coffee, have a cigarette. I'm a smoker.
Oh yeah.
And the birds were trained. When I came outside, the birds came to the wire. When the bread truck pulled up, the birds all came down. So this is something I did every day. It's not like I was out there. I've been accused of looking for trouble or whatever. This is something I did my house. I paid rent enjoying my freedom, which you should be able to do in your yard. About 9 in the morning, yeah, it was about 9 in the morning, I see them put cones up on Linden Street, Locust and Linden. They're blocking it off on the west side. I was the west side between Seabury and Linden. They started digging up the street, and I'm sitting there. There's no police detail. About 9:30, quarter to 10, cop shows up, and he's going to do his cell phone. He should have had a headset. It was plastered to his ear the whole time he was there. And this guy in full uniform.
Now this was his private cell phone.
Yes.
This wasn't.
I don't know.
Police?
I don't know whose phone. He had a phone plastered to his ear, and he's walking up and down the street. Now, a police detail, they get paid about $40 an hour.
Yeah, they do pretty good.
Why is he inside the cones and walking over to where the construction's going on and walking back inside there? Shouldn't you be on the outside of the cones directing traffic? You have 3 streets coming together. The 2 streets coming together, you have cars coming from 3 different ways. And as he's on his phone, talking like he's sitting talking with his buddy at the bar. F this, F that. This one said he paid 70 grand for a Mustang. I told me he was effing crazy. Now, some old Portuguese lady's walking down the street on the other side, and this lady doesn't understand English. I know that because I've dealt with her when we used to do yard sales there. And she's just standing there shaking her head. I mean, she doesn't understand English. She can't speak English, but she's understanding the swearing.
She yeah, okay.
And she's shaking her head like in disgust. It's a 70-year-old lady, 75-year-old lady.
So this was pretty loud then?
Yes.
Wasn't, like...
Yeah, he wasn't arguing with anybody. It was just banter like he's sitting in a bar. Yeah, hey.
But loud?
Yeah, from the minimum place from where I was sitting to the street was 42 feet.
And you could hear him?
Plain as day.
Distinctly?
Plain as day.
Now, okay, you're sitting there, he's talking, he's loud, and you do what?
Well, after the old lady walked into the store, I said, hey, buddy. I said, dude, so why don't you chill out with the language? He looks up at me and says, why don't you mind your own effing business?
Well, this is a police officer.
Why don't you shut up and mind your own effing business? Yes. And I'm just sitting there and I was like, wow. It's hard to believe. Back in the days, I might have come back and said something and just, there might have been a confrontation.
Well, it's hard to believe.
Verbally.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that.
So it's like,
a police officer would say something that
no, it's not.
something
It's
like,
not hard to believe.
Okay, it's not hard.
It's not hard to believe.
It's happened to you before?
Come on, Richard. 2014. People think like all these riots and all these protests across the states are because of a color issue. We've got Sharpton out there. We've got Jesse Jackson out there. These guys need to just step back and stop calling it a race games or race wars. This is about accountability.
Okay.
Police departments. Many police departments. It starts something like what happened to me.
Well, let's continue with the story. So he told you that, and what do you do?
I broke out. I was sitting there. I used to sit there, have my coffee, and I'm reading the Herald News on an iPhone that had no phone service to it. I used to pick up the wireless from right next door, Jeffrey Allen's salon. So when he started that, I shut the internet off and I flipped it over to camcorder, and I stood there for 45 minutes. I got him dead center.
When you were standing, where were you standing?
On my porch.
All right, so you're on your porch in your yard.
Yes.
And you're filming.
I'm filming 40 minutes, 45 minutes, going back and forth.
That long?
Yes. There's a house, a rooming house behind the mini mart. The people there were watching.
During the 45 minutes, did anything happen?
On his phone, F this, F that. Continue with the language.
Okay, but did he notice at that time you were filming?
Don't know.
But there you were.
He stopped. He stopped. At one point, he right in front of me, and that's how he noticed. I'm standing there like this. He stops, and he happens to look up. He says, "What are you doing?"
Now, are you still in your yard?
Yes, on my porch.
Okay, but he's that close now.
He's 42 feet away from me, from here directly out into the street, 42 feet.
Okay.
He says, what are you doing? I said, I'm filming you, dumbass. Why? I says, come on, count, see how many times you said F, drop the F-bomb on here. What? That's illegal. That's a federal offense. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is a First Amendment protected right. Judge Young, First Circuit Court of Appeal, August 26, 2011, Glick vs. Cuniff case, said that it was a First Amendment protected right.
Yeah.
That was in August 26, 2011. September 19th, 2011, Fall River Police issued a training bulletin. Every police officer in the city had to read this, acknowledge that they were aware of it, and sign a paper acknowledging that they were aware of it.
In regards to being filmed?
The Glick case, yes.
Okay. Now, so he sees you film.
He thinks that I'm just some dummy up on the porch, and he goes to come running in the yard at that point when he's telling me it's illegal, it's a federal offense, and he's going to charge. I laughed at him. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got to be joking or something. He goes to come running in the yard. The gate only opens out. It was like watching Benny Hill or something. He hit the gate, thought he was going to push the gate in, and that stopped him. I laughed, and I'm like, this guy's really serious. So I dialed the police station on a phone, on a good phone, telling him, I want a sergeant down here. Why? It's still on record. It's on there. It's on the city's records. Refuse to let a sergeant come down here. Well, you'll see when you get down here. This guy's arresting me illegally.
Okay, now the patrolman out there is arresting you?
Yes, he come running when he finally got the gate open. He comes running up the stairs, looks right into the camera. He said, "You effing welfare bum!"
And he put you under arrest.
Threw me to the ground. I sat down. I've still got the camera rolling the whole time. I'm on the phone with the police station. He thinks I'm talking to a friend of mine, and I was on the phone with can't think of the sergeant's name, Uniform Division.
So he gets to confiscate your phone at that time?
Oh, he tried breaking the phone.
All right, but at that time...
I shut the phone off. I had it rolling the whole time I was on the phone with the police department.
Yeah.
When they finally told me they weren't going to send the sergeant down, I stopped the video. I put the phone down on the table on the side of me. I says, "Okay, thank you very much. I'll see," and I put my hands down in front of me.
All right, I want to know, is that at that time, did he take that phone?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how the police department got your phone.
They seized 2 phones.
Okay, but the one that's the most important one was when you were filming. So
yes, sir.
At that time, that phone was seized.
Yep.
And you were handcuffed.
Thrown to the ground.
Put under arrest.
Handcuffed, then thrown to the ground. They lied. Every piece of evidence, every police report has been fabricated.
Okay, I gotta move this along. We're only got a half-hour, Judge. So okay, you're under arrest. You're brought to the police station. Yes. The phone is confiscated.
Yes, sir.
Eventually, you're released from the jail.
I wasn't released until the following day when I went to court.
Well, eventually.
I was in the police. I was brought to the police.
What were you charged with?
Illegal wiretapping.
Illegal
and resisting arrest.
But you were on your own property.
On my own property, sitting on my porch.
And.
Inside a fence.
Okay, so you get down to the courthouse, and you're arraigned. Not guilty. You plead not guilty. Eventually, you go back.
Yep.
You're represented. And
fired my lawyer.
Oh, well, anyway, what is your defense? What do you tell the judge?
I brought the judge case law. I brought copies for the district attorneys, for the ADAs. Case law on 3 different cases. I can't name the other 2, but
no, that's all right. No, we just
to show them that it was what I was arrested for is not a crime.
Okay, so eventually you're before the judge. Yep. The evidence gets presented or not presented. Was it settled out? Was it settled, or did you go to trial?
April 11th, they finally dismissed the charges.
All right, charges.
They threw the charges out.
Who dismissed the charge? Was it the judge or the prosecutor?
The prosecutor.
Didn't want to go forward.
They couldn't.
No, I understand what you're saying, but they decided.
They tried to. He wanted to.
And who stopped him?
Sam Sutter, I believe it was, finally.
Came forward and said, look, there's no case here?
There was no case to begin with. They knew that.
All
They
right.
knew that. When I
So
went,
The charges get dropped. And what have you done since? And I know you've done some things, but,
I've got videos posted of,
but no, did you file a civil action?
absolutely. I filed a suit in December 8th. I have the Howard Friedman and Associates, premier
Okay.
lawyers.
All right, so presently you have a civil suit against the Fall
Yes.
River Police
Against
Department?
Thomas Barboza.
The police officer?
Yes.
And the police department?
Police departments, you know,
Who
I
are
have named Thomas Barboza
Okay, he's the only defendant?
right now.
All right, and what are you looking for?
Vindication.
Well, I mean, more than that, I'm sure.
I'm not done. I'm just starting with the police
But
department.
in the complaint, George, what did you put down as far as,
To be determined by the courts.
what's that?
To be determined by the courts.
All right, so you didn't ask for any specific relief?
Nope.
Did you ask for any money damages? Well, it's either in a
It's
complaint.
under review. Isn't that what they use in the city? It's under review? No. I'm
I
going
mean,
to
it's in a complaint or not. It's a public record if you filed a complaint. Anyone can go down and get the record and look at it, the file.
Yes, everything is available at baystateexaminer.com. All of my whole case, all my
All right.
case files, all the lawsuit papers,
Okay, all right, so when did you file that civil suit?
December 8th.
Of this year?
Yes,
December 8th of this year?
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14. Okay. Do you have a trial date?
No, not yet.
But
Attorney Howiak, Assistant Corporate Counsel for the city, answered,
And
sent an answer.
What did he put down in his?
He said
Well, briefly.
he denied they denied everything. They denied seizing the phones. It's a joke.
They denied seizing.
They denied seizing the phones. He denied violating my rights. I have a paper with his signatures acknowledging that he knew it was a violation of my civil rights. It's such a joke.
Okay, so you got the answer from the city. Do you have another date to go back to court?
No.
Well, you don't have any pre-trial date?
Oh, no. This is right now. I guess we're going to have to entertain an offer
Well, where'd you file this complaint?
in U.S. court in Boston. We filed December 8th. My attorney filed.
Okay, yeah, patch him in. Dan's on the phone. We got a few more minutes. Dan Robillard. Dan, you out there? Can you hear us?
How are you, Richard? Sorry for the delay. There was an issue with the phone system up there.
Over here at the college?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we were wondering. I had to get going. I got,
I was calling the number and didn't get a response till just a few minutes ago when I've been listening to Mr. Thompson here.
Okay.
How you doing, Dan?
How are you, George?
Fantastic, brother.
You have any question for Mr. Thompson?
I'm a little surprised that neither his counsel has put a specific dollar amount in the complaint. That seems a little bit peculiar to me.
Without the dollar amount, you're saying?
It does. I mean, normally if someone files a suit against the city, they have a specific dollar amount in mind. Recognizing that the city is self-insured, I'm sure there's limits on a complaint of this nature.
Well, George just told us that it was filed in the federal court
Yes, sir.
in Boston.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have, you don't have a next court date.
No, not yet. It's going to be. We're still waiting on a date on that. Then they're going to ask for. They're going to want us to try to mediate outside, outside the court, with it being in the federal court system.
So you're hoping, or you think maybe there'll be a settlement to the case?
Oh, yeah. It's stupid for the city to spend a dime trying to fight this case. The city cannot win this case. There's no possible way. If you, like I say, I tell people to go look at go on baystateexaminer.com Every arrest, every piece of paper pertaining to my case has been posted online. It's a wide open case. You people look.
Who posted the case papers, George? That's highway irregular also, in my opinion.
I have posted them. My whole case is out there in the open for everybody to see. I have done absolutely nothing wrong. I broke no laws. That's why I am on the fight that I am with my videos that I post. I've got police activity right in the police station. Cops pulling switchblades out of their pocket to open evidence bag. Lieutenant Furtado standing there refusing to abide by the open records law.
But
Fall River doesn't operate under that law.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
I know. Well, that's something other than your case, anyway.
But this just put a fire under me.
Okay.
Even with I could settle my case tomorrow. I'm not done.
Well, you haven't. There's no offer has been.
No, but I'm saying if I settled my case tomorrow, I'm still not
But
done.
you can't settle it without an offer from the city, George.
No.
I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
But I guess what he's saying is even though you might settle your case, you're still going to pursue other avenues in regards to the Fall River Police Department.
There's a lot the Fall River Police Department.
Let me ask you this: Are you going to run for city council? Are you running for city council?
No.
All right.
You know, I'm not against people. Look at someone like my shirts and say I record cops, or someone like cop block shirts. The back says badges don't grant extra rights. I am not against police officers. I'm against dirty cops. You could be the most honest one, but if you're asked to cover for me and I'm lying, and you know I'm lying, that makes you just as dirty.
Now you appeared before the city council and you brought
many times.
In regards to Chief Racine.
Many times. I've been doing it as much as I can.
So you're pretty regular down there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Dan, any other question? Because we're running out of kind of getting to the end of the program.
Not much. I've heard Mr. Thompson's case. The charges have been dismissed. To me, this is civil litigation now.
Yeah, but I mean, like Ray Mitchell, the last time I was there, says, George, I've told you before, what was done to you was wrong, but we need to move on.
Well, Judge, let me ask you this now that Richard has sort of piqued my interest a little bit. You have a case pending now.
Yes.
Okay. Let's assume that case was resolved.
Yep.
You stated a brief moment ago that you want to expand this to go further.
Yes.
Assuming your pending case is settled, what is the next step that you have in mind?
Accountability of everyone's actions, whether it's...
How do you define that, George? How do you define that in realistic terms?
Well,
I mean,
all right, my phone was tampered with right from the beginning.
Yeah, get into that a bit.
We understand the facts of the case, George. The case has been, the charges have been dismissed. I'm asking you, after your present case is settled,
yes.
You said you want to take this further. What is your ultimate goal? When will this be done and settled for you, in your mind?
When the people who created the wrong are held responsible, it's not just the police officer. It's not just the police officers that arrested me. It's everyone in between that has worked to cover this up. To keep the person who. Do you intend to file individual suits against each party? I mean, at the end of the day, where is this going? How does it end? People need to be fired, retrained, whatever it comes to.
Okay, I want to get in with another question, George. Now, the phone was confiscated.
Yes.
Because people out there, I want them to understand the full story.
Phone was confiscated.
No, look, let me get the question out. And down at the police station, it was found out later that your film was not on or in your phone any longer.
Nothing.
Now, how do you think that happened?
Nothing. A police officer did it. It was proven. The chief of police's own outside investigation
proved
that a Fall River. The phone was reset on January 8th at 3:01 in the afternoon when it was in the custody of the Fall River
Now it's
Police
2 days
Station,
later.
in possession of
2 days later.
in possession of Detective Sergeant Kevin Medeiros, who hooked the phone up to a computer that had iTunes installed and was in fact hooked to the internet. That's not how you do a scan on the phone.
All right, so
But
your film, let me finish,
that
Judge.
was not done.
We're going to be out of time.
That was not done until after somebody
Your-
else pushed the wrong password 10 times.
Okay, and the film was deleted.
The whole phone was wiped clean and written over,
All right, so,
but it wasn't done maliciously.
all right, that was done at the police department. Okay, George, we're getting down to the end. I'm going to give you the final word. What do you have to say? You want to, in conclusion?
If you have an interaction with a police officer, in my eyes, and I'll say it to everybody, if you got a camera phone, break it out, record what's going on. You see something going down on the side, you see a cop, somebody and a cop having a struggle, break the camera out. This isn't just to prove that the videotaping isn't just for us to do something against a cop. If somebody pulled out a knife, somebody pulled out a gun, we've got it on record. Hey, this is what the person looks like. I'm not against cops. I wish everybody the best. Everybody is safe. Just do your job. Do your job honestly. Do the job that you were hired to do.
Okay, Dan, I'm glad you called in. You have me.
Richard, thank you, and I apologize for the apparent delay on that side of the board here.
Anything to report to us briefly?
Well, Minnesota had a press conference, and apparently the city is going forward with a safer grant application that will bring back 10 firefighters if the safer grant is granted.
And
It's a 2-year grant. There was a press conference held at City Hall this afternoon. It aired on FRG TV at approximately noontime. It was Minnesota, Jason Burns from the Fall River Firefighters Union president, and one other firefighter.
Okay, Dan.
His name escapes me at this second.
All
But
right.
The city is applying for another safer grant, which will bring back 10 firefighters if the grant is obtained.
Okay, Dan,
city.
okay, thank you. George, thank you for coming on the program.
Not a problem, brother.
Nice to talk to you, see you again. And people out there, I hope you enjoyed the program. I did, got some information, you might say straight from the source, which is always good. And don't forget, if you're out there doing some film, you're within the law, so take it from the case that was just presented here by George Thomas. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.